we look at a bit at what happiness is, I'd like to quote Tal Ben-Shahar, who's a very famous professor who's studied happiness and published many books. And he talks about happiness as being at the intersection between meaning and pleasure. So pleasure, obviously, we know what that is. It's about doing things in the workspace which use your strengths, which take the best out of you and gives you the opportunity to use it. When we talk about meaning, it's more about, what purpose am I following? If we think about purpose, for instance, in the context of JLL, we could think about sustainability and how it's committed to well-being in the workspace, or generally about how to manage waste and questions that really will make a difference in this world. That's what purpose is. So there's a recent study this year in 2019 carried out by the Saïd Business School of Oxford and MIT, and they measured the happiness of British Telecom's workers in call centers. And they actually found that when workers were happy, they were actually 13% more productive. Correlation doesn't mean causation, but there's I think an interesting point for us to think about around what makes us productive at work and how happiness can impact that. So boosting happiness in the workplace, we can think about ways that have been developed by the positive psychology movement. And one of the models that has been developed is called Spire. It's around caring for our well-being as if we were the steward of a ship, if you like. And the components of this model are spiritual well-being, physical well-being, intellectual well-being, relational well-being, and emotional well-being. So let's look into those really quickly and see what that means. So we talked about spiritual. You could say, well, the workplace doesn't really have much to do there, but when we talk about purpose and meaning, that's actually something that improves our spiritual well-being. The next one, if we think about, is the intellectual well-being. So that's about learning, it's about curiosity, it's about being a lifelong learner. And at IU University, we really believe in that, for the importance of learning and continuing to study, because what we've found is that actually if you learn more, you live longer, and there's studies around that. Physical well-being. It's just as simple as doing 30 minutes of exercise 3 times a week, so that's the basic. And it's very important to continue to have 7 hours of sleep every night. Relational well-being, it's about doing things with people you enjoy. When we talk about emotional well-being, that's about how we manage, at the same time, the positive emotions in our lives and also the difficult moments. When we're able to put all of these together and take care of all those aspects of our well-being, we really see an improvement in happiness. So at the IE, we believe, and in the Centre in particular, the Centre for Health, Wellbeing and Happiness, the way we want to build a better tomorrow is by teaching students about 3 fundamental pillars of our being. The first one is the body, the second one is the mind, and the third one is the soul, the purpose, the spirit that we have inside. And under the leadership of Mario Alonso Puig, whom it's a privilege to work with, I have to say, we've designed a series of courses that will help students understand their bodies through nutrition. What do their brains need to be at the best of their performance levels? It's about understanding that learning this is just as important as everything else that we have in our lives. And I think many of us who have not had the opportunity to study that at university would have liked to have that a bit earlier, perhaps, in our lives than we did, certainly that I did in my personal life. So that's the project. That's how we think we could make the world a bit better for our students.